It took 151 years, but the remains of two sailors who lost their lives in the Civil War have been finally laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery. Their ship was the USS Monitor, the Union ironclad which, according to maritime historian Anna Holloway, revolutionized naval warfare.
The gun turret with the two guns that were able to rotate 360 degrees really was a game changer, because that meant that the ship was no longer at the mercy of the winds and the currents for maneuvering in battle.
Until then, the North's wooden ships were at the mercy of the Confederate ironclad Merrimac, which knocked out or drove off 5 Union vessels in a single battle.
She visited more destruction upon the U.S. Navy than would happen until Pearl Harbor. So it was a just absolutely devastating day.
The worst day for the U.S. Navy?
Until Pearl Harbor.
Then the Monitor arrived and saved the day by fighting the Merrimac to a draw.
This was the first battle of ironclad warships ever in history, and that's really what makes the Battle of Hampton Roads on March 9th of 1862 so significant.
10 months later, the Monitor, still bearing dents from Confederate cannonballs, went down in a storm off Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. One of the survivors called it a night of horrors. She lay in 240 feet of water until 2002, when divers, among them Joe Hoyt of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, got their first look at history.
It's pretty incredible, especially a site like the Monitor, arguably more significant than almost any shipwreck, certainly in U.S. history.
The turret, with the remains of the two sailors still inside, was raised and brought to the Mariners Museum at Newport News, Virginia.
We were touching a piece of history, putting your hands on those dents that were made so long ago.
The turret became an archaeological dig into the history of the Monitor and the lives of its crew. Curator David Kropp has cataloged more than 1,500 artifacts, including this glass fragment with a Latin inscription which translates to, "I shall rise again."
We're taking these pieces and these stories that were lost forever and bringing them back to life, and it's just a beautiful piece.
I shall rise again.
Absolutely.
Some of these artifacts, like this mismatched pair of shoes and this gold ring, were found on the remains of the two sailors.
It's an amazing piece because it's something unbelievably personal.
Some of them, like this silver serving spoon, offer tantalizing clues to the sailors' identities.
You can see JN for Jacob Nicholas. He was a 19-year-old sailor from Buffalo, New York.
Could he be one of the two?
There's a possibility, but at this point, without further DNA confirmation, we don't really know that.
Living descendants of the Monitor's crew attended the burial at Arlington, but there is still no DNA match. The names of the two sailors, who once were lost but now are found, remain one of history's secrets.